All right, so we're diving into Million Dollar Weekend by Noah Kagan.
Yeah, we're going to try and
See what it's all about.
extract the core principles, see how actionable those steps Kagan outlines actually are.
Yeah, and he's talking about launching a profitable business quickly, right? Like really quickly.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's saying like 48 hours, so
Wow.
I think we should buckle up.
Definitely, yeah. One of the things that I think is so fascinating about his approach is just the sheer speed of it all.
Hmm.
Like it really is all about action, action, action.
Oh, absolutely. Way more than just planning and planning and planning. Yeah.
Yeah, like he really embodies that now, not how habit that he talks about.
Absolutely. And, the guy getting fired from Facebook, that could have been a knockout punch for anyone.
Oh, yeah, I can't imagine.
But, it seems like he kind of used it as fuel to develop his own style,
Yeah,
which
definitely.
I think that's a real testament to, not being afraid to fail and reframing that failure as a learning experience. And speaking of getting started, he actually suggests this interesting thing. Ask someone you trust for a business idea.
Interesting. Okay.
It's kind of like jump-starting your entrepreneurial engine, you
Well,
know?
I see. So it's not just about coming up with the idea yourself in
Wow.
a vacuum.
Right.
It's about like leveraging your network from the get-go. And that actually ties into what he talks about with asking, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he's got that whole thing about his dad selling copiers even though he could barely speak English. And of course, the Kyle McDonald thing,
Right. Right. The paperclip.
turning a paperclip into a house
Yeah.
just by
Yeah. Series of
a
trades.
series of trades. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think both of those stories highlight how much power there is in just asking. Like
Hmm.
the potential upside is huge. The downside is usually just a no. So
Yeah, yeah.
Kagan wants us to get more comfortable with that no. And actually, he's got this exercise, his coffee challenge. You just go into a coffee shop and ask for like a 10% discount or
Don't
something.
have.
Just as a way to,
Get over that.
get over the fear of being told no.
Okay, so I'm getting the mindset piece, but let's get into the actual process here.
Yeah, yeah.
Kagan's Million Dollar Weekend process.
Yeah.
He's got this three-step framework to finding, validating, and making money from an idea in just 48 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, is this all about jumping on trends and like hoping for the best?
Not exactly. I mean, the first step is million-dollar ideas, right?
Yeah,
But he really stresses a customer-first approach. He's
yeah.
not talking about, inventing the next iPhone. He's
Uh-huh.
talking about problems that people are already trying to solve
Mm-hmm.
and figuring out how to solve them in a way that, people will actually pay you for.
Yeah. So it's not about like spending months developing a product and then trying to find customers.
Right, exactly.
It's about validating that demand up front,
Yeah,
which I think is really smart. And he uses that example of the dog walking app
right.
that pivoted to a dog sitting service.
Yeah, just from talking
Yeah.
to actual dog owners.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs go wrong, I think.
Yeah, they fall in love with their idea, yeah.
They're so in love with the idea that they don't even check to see if anyone actually wants it. And then, he offers a whole bunch of strategies for coming up with ideas that actually are rooted in those needs.
Okay, so what are some of those?
Well, I mean, one is start with problems that you actually face, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's how AppSumo was born, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
He was frustrated.
He needed a deal on software.
So he created a solution. Yeah, that's great.
It's like scratching your own itch, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah. What else is there?
Well, he says another good one is look at current bestsellers,
Oh, hey.
Amazon, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can you make an accessory or a complementary service, something that enhances,
Oh, interesting.
that existing product?
So it's not starting from scratch. It's like
Right.
piggybacking on proven demand.
Exactly.
That's clever. Okay, I like that. And then there's exploring online marketplaces,
Okay.
Etsy, Craigslist, even
Yeah.
just see what's out there. What are the gaps?
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
And then there's a gold mine,
Which is?
search engine queries.
Oh, yeah.
What are
Ooh.
people looking for? What can't they find?
It's like market research in real time.
That's it.
I like it. Okay, so I've got my million-dollar idea.
Yeah.
I've validated the demand. How do I know it's actually going to make $1 million?
Right.
That's where the 1-minute business model comes in, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So is that literally just a 1-minute calculation?
Well, it's more than that. It's about quickly seeing if your idea is actually viable
Oh.
using tools that we all have,
Like, give me an example.
Well, Google Trends.
Okay.
See if people are searching for your niche, Facebook ads, how big is your potential market,
Got it.
that kind of thing.
Okay, walk me through it. Let's say my idea is artisanal beard oil.
Okay.
I don't know. Why not?
All right, artisanal beard oil. I like it. So how does the 1-minute business model work with that?
Well, first you go to Google Trends. You look up beard grooming, whatever.
How's it
See if
going?
it's trending is going up.
Got it.
Okay, good. It is.
Yeah.
Then you go to Facebook ads.
Mm-hmm.
How many people are interested in beard oil? Kagan says it's around 2.5 million people.
Wow. Okay.
Then you multiply that market size by your product price, let's say $50 for some fancy beard oil.
Okay, so 2.5 million times $50.
Yeah.
That's $125 million.
Boom. There's your potential market.
Okay, I'm starting to get it. So this is a really quick way to kind of see, like,
Right.
does my idea have legs?
Exactly.
Does it have the potential to actually get to $1 million?
And it's really interesting how he contrasts that with something like a full broth subscription service, which his research shows there's not as much interest in that.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Same.
So it's a reality check.
Yeah, quick reality check.
Yeah, okay, I like it. So let's
Yeah.
say my beard oil passes the test. What's next? I'm assuming I don't start, like, setting up a factory or anything like that.
No factories yet.
No, okay.
This is where the 48-hour money challenge comes in.
Okay.
And the key here is this idea of pre-selling.
Pre-selling, what is that?
Getting people to pay for your product before it even exists.
Whoa, 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 hold on. That sounds risky. What if I can't deliver?
Yeah, he talks about that. You gotta manage expectations, be transparent with those early customers.
Okay.
They're your beta testers, basically, and they understand that he
Yeah.
shares his own story with Sumo Jerky to show how this works.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he wanted to sell jerky,
Mhm.
didn't have a website or anything,
Right.
but he still managed to get pre-orders.
How did he do that?
He used his network, he emailed everyone he knew,
Yes.
offered them, bulk discounts, really emphasized that community aspect.
So it was like supporting your butt.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah.
And he ended up getting enough orders to, validate the idea.
Within 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah.
Wow.
And, he shares another example, Dana, who pre-sold her horse training expertise, showing it can work for services too.
Okay, that's smart. Leveraging those existing relationships. Are there any other techniques for validating your idea like that?
Oh, yeah, he's got tons of them.
Oh,
So besides reaching out to people directly,
Mhm.
landing pages,
what's a landing code?
it's a basic web page where you can get email addresses,
Mhm.
you can even take pre-orders.
Mm-hmm.
And he highlights this example of Kettle and Fire bone broth.
Okay.
They made almost $500 from pre-sales with a landing page
Wow, and they hadn't even...
before they'd even made any broth.
Okay, so it's all about testing the waters,
Yeah.
seeing if there's demand
Before
before
you jump in.
jumping in. Okay.
Back first.
And I think that's where a lot of entrepreneurs go wrong,
Yeah.
is they just go all in on the idea.
Mm-hmm. And it's funny, he actually shares this story about trying to validate a limited edition taco poster, and it totally flopped. But then he was wearing a taco shirt one day, and he was getting all this positive feedback.
Oh, wow.
So he pivoted and actually launched a taco shirt business.
So even what you might consider like a failure
Yeah,
can point you in a new direction.
exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a validated idea, some pre-orders in hand,
Uh-huh.
time to get the word out right, social media, email marketing, all that.
Yeah, and he's got a very specific philosophy about that. He believes that social media is for growth
No, okay.
and that email is for profit.
Oh, and interesting.
So it's about using each of those for what they're good at.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but isn't there some overlap? Can't you sell stuff on social media?
You can, but his point is that social media is more about building that engaged audience,
Mm-hmm.
those true fans who really connect with you and what you're about.
I see.
Like, he actually raised $30,000 in just 3 days for a charity bike ride just from tapping into his network of followers.
That's incredible, yeah. But with so many platforms out there, where do you even start?
Well, he suggests focusing on where your ideal customer is hanging out.
Okay.
So photographers on Instagram, podcasters on YouTube,
Right. It's about being strategic.
aligning your efforts. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And then it's about creating the right kind of content for that audience, right? He's got that whole content circle framework.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break that down for our listener?
Yeah, so it's about segmenting your content to reach those different levels of engagement. Think of it as concentric circles. The core circle is like your super fans, they're going to love everything you do.
Okay.
Then you've got like a medium circle, they're interested in specific topics. And then the large circle, that's where you reach people with more general content.
I got it. So you're catering to those different levels of interest, but still building that cohesive brand.
Exactly.
I like it. And he mentions creators like Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks and Kyle from Kyle Got Camera who have used that to build massive communities.
Yeah, they're great examples. But you're right, social media is just one piece of the puzzle.
Right, so how does email marketing fit into all of this?
Well, Kagan's a huge fan of email. He even calls email lists the ATM of your business.
Okay, I see your point about social media being for growth and all, but isn't email kind of old school?
Mm.
Especially with, all the TikToks and stuff out there.
It might seem that way, but you know what?
What?
You own your email list.
That's true.
You don't own your followers on social media.
Algorithms can change, platforms come and go,
All the time.
but your email list is yours.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you're not at the mercy of some tech giant.
Right. You're in control.
That's a really good point. But how do you even get people to sign up for your emails?
Well, you got to offer them something valuable, a lead magnet, he calls it. It could be a checklist, a guide, even a discount code. Just something to incentivize people to give you their email.
Okay, got it. So you're offering value up front to build trust and all that.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. But with so many emails flying around these days, how do you actually stand out?
Well, you have to be strategic, right? And he actually provides a framework for a series of automated emails designed to welcome, educate, and ultimately convert those subscribers into customers.
Oh, okay. So it's not just about blasting out promotional emails. It's about, nurturing that relationship.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. What do those emails actually look like? What kind of content is in them?
Well, the first one is just a simple welcome email. You thank people for subscribing. You set expectations.
Okay.
Then you have what he calls the indoctrination email.
Indoctrination email. What's that?
Yeah, that's where you share your story.
Oh, okay.
You build some rapport. You establish yourself as, an authority.
Okay, so it's a bit more personal.
Yeah, let people get to know you.
I like it. Then what?
Then there's the engagement email. This is where you deliver on the promise of your lead magnet some real valuable content related to your niche.
And last but not least.
The connection email encourages people to connect with you on social media.
Oh, okay.
So you're kind of bringing it full circle.
Bringing it full circle. I like it. So it's a really deliberate sequence designed to, guide people to become customers.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, all of this sounds great in theory, but what happens when you hit a roadblock? You're putting in the work, but you're not seeing results.
Right, and that happens to everyone.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you do?
Yeah.
This is where his law of 100 comes in.
Law of 100, what's that?
It's about committing to making 100 attempts at something before you give up.
Wow,
So even if you face setbacks, you just keep going.
that's a lot.
He actually admits that he quit his own podcast after 50 episodes.
Oh, really?
Because the download numbers weren't what he wanted.
Wow.
And now he says he regrets it.
He quit too soon.
Quit too soon, exactly.
It's a really good reminder that sometimes success is just about
Persistence.
persistence, yeah.
Just sticking with it.
Yeah, and he also talks about buffer, right? They achieved massive success by just consistently creating content, engaging their audience.
Over years, not months.
Over years, that's a long time.
It is. It's a long game.
It is.
And the law of 100, that applies to anything, not just business.
Yeah, that's true. It's a mindset shift, really. It's about embracing those challenges as part of the process and focusing on the small, consistent actions over time.
Exactly, yeah.
And Kagan's own journey is a testament to that.
Yeah.
He didn't just become an overnight success, he had setbacks.
Of course, yeah.
But he kept learning, kept iterating, and now he's built multiple successful businesses.
And you know what? That leads us perfectly to his growth machine framework,
Okay.
which is all about how to, systematically scale your business once you have that initial traction.
All right, let's dive into that in part 2.
Okay, sounds good. Welcome back. So, in part 1, we kind of went through how Kagan says you can launch a business in 48 hours.
Right.
Now, let's get into turning those dreams into action, right? And how to build a support network to help you reach those goals.
Yeah, I'm really glad we're going beyond just the business tactics because, what's the point of all this hustle if it doesn't actually lead to a life that you enjoy, right?
Totally. And that's a really important point he makes. Entrepreneurial success, it doesn't automatically equal personal fulfillment.
Right.
He actually shares a story about, reaching this point where AppSumo was bringing in millions of dollars.
Okay.
But he was miserable.
Really?
Yeah, he felt super unfulfilled, like he had lost sight of his values in the chase for all that money.
Yeah, that's so relatable.
Right.
It's so easy to get caught up in those external metrics like revenue and followers and kind of forget about what actually matters.
Totally. So did he say how he got out of that rut?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Well, he made some big changes, both in his business and his personal life.
Okay.
He started focusing on promoting products that he actually believed in, cut ties with some toxic relationships,
Mm-hmm.
and just started prioritizing things that brought him joy,
Like what?
like spending Fridays having happy hour with friends, just making time for the good stuff.
That's awesome. It's a good reminder that we all have the power to design our own lives.
Exactly.
No matter what our circumstances are.
Totally.
Okay, so how do we actually figure out what those dreams are and turn them into concrete goals? I know he talks about that dream year exercise.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What is that?
Well, it's about really taking the time to visualize your ideal year. Like, where are you living? What are you doing? How do you feel? He says to get super specific, write it all down as if it's already happening.
I actually tried something similar last year, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
Just writing down what I wanted my life to look like really helped me clarify my priorities.
It's powerful stuff, right? It's like bringing those dreams out of your head and onto paper, making them real, tangible. So once you have that dream year outlined, he says to pick the goals that really excite you.
Okay.
And organize them into these 4 categories: health, personal, work, and travel.
Oh, so it's not just about setting goals in one area of your life.
Yeah.
You're creating this like holistic vision.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that. But how do you actually go from these big picture dreams to, actually taking action?
Well, he's got this system called coloring your calendar.
Coloring your calendar. What's that?
Yeah, so you assign a color to each of your goal categories: blue for work, green for health, whatever works for you.
Okay.
And then you actually schedule time for those activities on your calendar
Oh, I see.
using the corresponding color.
That's such a visual way to like see how you're spending your time
Yeah.
and make sure that you're actually making progress on your goals.
Exactly. And it's one thing to set those goals,
Mm-hmm.
but staying accountable is a whole other challenge.
What?
So he recommends this thing called a Sunday accountability preview.
Sunday accountability preview.
Yeah. You basically look at the week ahead, anticipate any challenges, and just recommit to your goals.
Okay, so it's like a weekly check-in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then he also suggests finding an accountability partner, someone to share your goals with.
Oh, yeah.
Provide support to each other.
Yeah, I think that's so important because sometimes it's really hard to stay motivated on your own.
Absolutely. Having someone to, celebrate wins with
Mm-hmm.
and kind of keep you on track can make a big difference.
Yeah, and you know what else he talks about? He mentions these prefluencers.
Oh, yeah, the prefluencers.
Who are they?
So these are basically rising stars in your field who haven't quite hit mainstream fame yet,
Okay.
but they're doing really impressive work. They have a lot of potential. Like, he connected with Ramit Sethi and Tim Ferriss before they became household names.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So it's about like spotting that potential early on and building those relationships.
Exactly, before they get super busy and inaccessible.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but how do you even approach someone like that?
Well, he says to just be genuine,
Okay.
offer value before asking for anything in return. Find someone whose work you really admire. Reach out authentically.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe share how their work has impacted you,
Yeah, so it's about building genuine connections, not just like trying to climb the social ladder.
Exactly. And that really ties into his whole point about networking in general. He's a
Right.
big believer in that.
Yeah, for sure.
He says building a strong network is essential for success, both personally and professionally. He shares that story of Andrew Chen, a venture capitalist, who made it a point to meet 5 new people every day.
5 new people.
5 new people, yeah.
Wow.
Every day for 6 months after he moved to the Bay Area.
That's a lot of people.
It is. It's a lot of people. But you know what? It paid off big time.
Yeah, I bet.
He ended up connecting with some seriously influential people like Mark Andreessen
Oh, wow.
and Eric Yuan, the guy who founded Zoom.
Wow. Okay.
And that actually led to him becoming a partner at Andreessen Horowitz.
So it's not just about attending random networking events. It's about having a strategy, being consistent, and building those relationships over time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to reaching out to someone,
Mm-hmm.
he talks about writing a really strong intro email.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah. That's crucial.
What does that look like?
Well, you have to be clear about who you are,
Okay.
what value you can offer,
Mm-hmm.
and why you're excited to connect with them specifically.
So no generic emails.
No generic emails. Yeah.
Okay, I like it. So we've covered a lot of ground here, turning dreams into action, accountability, finding those prefluencers, building a solid network.
Yeah.
It's clear that Kagan sees these as essential parts of success.
Oh, absolutely.
And he actually takes it even further with this concept of a VIP network.
Right. The VIP network, your inner circle.
Okay, so what is that exactly?
Well, think of it as like your A-team.
Okay.
Your mentors, your advisors, your strategic partners,
Yeah.
the people who can really open doors for you, offer valuable insights, and just, champion your endeavors.
So it's a more like curated group, people who are really invested in your success.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, but how do you build a network like that?
Well, it takes time and effort for sure.
Yeah, of course.
Attending industry events can be helpful. Mastermind groups are great.
Okay.
Leveraging referrals from your existing network.
Okay, so it's about like...
It's not just about collecting names.
Yeah.
It's about really nurturing those relationships.
So staying in touch, offering support, celebrating their successes. It's about reciprocity.
It is. You got to give as much as you get.
Yeah.
He really sees this VIP network as a long-term investment.
It makes sense. The right people can really make a huge difference.
Absolutely.
Wow, we've really gone deep on this $1 Million Weekend thing.
Yeah.
We've talked about launching a business quickly, defining your dreams, building a supportive network.
Yeah.
All through this lens of, his action-oriented philosophy.
It's a practical guide, packed with actionable advice, inspiring stories.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many takeaways here.
And strategies that anyone can use.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, is there one final thought that you want to leave our listeners with?
So thinking back to all those, rapid validation techniques that Kagan talks about, what's one business idea that you would be most excited to test out this weekend?
Oh, this weekend.
This weekend, using his framework.
Ooh, that's a good question. And what's stopping you? Like, what's holding you back from getting started right now?
Yeah, it's a real challenge, right? It really makes you kind of put everything we've talked about into action. And it goes back to that, now W, not how thing. Just stop overthinking it and just start doing.
Yeah, it's like that saying, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But sometimes taking that first step can feel really daunting.
Oh, absolutely. And that's where I think his whole thing about experimentation and embracing failure comes in, It's like every attempt is a learning opportunity, is a chance to gather information, refine your approach.
Right.
And, get closer to your goals.
Yeah.
You don't have to have it all figured out right from the start.
Yeah, that definitely takes a lot of pressure off, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's more about progress, not perfection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I find so inspiring about Kagan's message. It's really about empowerment in action,
Yeah.
reminding us that we actually have the power to shape our own realities, both in business and in life.
It is inspiring when you think about it that way.
It is, yeah. So for our listeners who are feeling that spark of inspiration and are ready to take action, where can they go to learn more and connect with other like-minded people?
Well, first of all, head over to the show's website. We've got tons of resources there. Links to Kagan's book, his website, other helpful tools,
Yeah, and communities for entrepreneurs.
Exactly. It's a great place to start.
Definitely, yeah. And don't forget to share your $1 Million Weekend experiments with us on social media.
Oh, yeah. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, we want to know about your successes.
Your challenges.
Everything.
The whole journey.
Yeah, because we're all in this together, right?
We are.
We can learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And just remember, you have the power to create a life that you love.
You do.
So go out there, take action, and make it happen.
Make it happen, yeah.
Until next time, keep diving deep.
And keep learning.
And keep learning.
Happy experimenting.